I want to tell you about a specific person. Before I tell you what that person was a picture of, because the picture only makes sense after the specific person. There was a year when the family that should have been present wasn't, for reasons that were complicated and real and still painful. In a specific way, that family absence is painful because it carries the specific disappointment of a particular expectation that nobody else can feel exactly. And in that year, there was a man who showed up without being asked, without announcement, without the performance of friendship, just consistently present at the specific coordinates of my life, when my life was at its least presentable. He showed up on a Tuesday with no agenda and asked a question that nobody else had asked, with the tone that many wanted, the honest answer, and I gave it to him, and he stayed. And I wanna be careful here, because I'm describing a human being who isn't perfect as humans are, but in that season he was the most precise embodiment of something I'd read about and never fully understood until he showed it to me.
Closer than a brother,
that's the verse, Proverbs 18:24.
closer than a brother.
He was that in real life, not in metaphor. Actual Tuesday showing up, actual honest question, actual staying after the honest answer.
Closer than a brother.
And I understood the verse, cause I'd seen the verse walking in someone else's skin. And after that year and after the friendship had carried me through it, I started reading the verse differently, not as a description of a human ideal, but as a description of something I was supposed to recognize in the human that pointed at the divine. Because the one who wrote the proverb was describing himself and the qualities he put in the friend who showed up on a Tuesday with no agenda and the honest question in the stand. And I understood for the first time what it meant that Jesus called us friends, not servants, friends, which means they're showing up on Tuesday. The honest question, the staying after the honest answer, are in the character of the one who wrote the friendship into Proverbs 18 before the friend existed. And I look at that man who showed up in that year, and I think he didn't know he was being used as a demonstration of the most important friendship in the collection.
Closer than a brother.
Proverbs 18:24.
Closer than a brother.
He was that in real life, and he showed me what the verse was always pointing toward.
Closer than a brother.
Jesus, the original, the template, the source of every friendship that ever looked like this. I called that man this week just to say I remember the Tuesday, and I understood now what it was a picture of. And he said, I was just showing up. And I said, I know. And that's exactly what made it a picture of the one who does the same, without announcement, without agenda, just consistently present at the specific coordinates of wherever you are when your life is at its least presentable. I have two friendships now that I think about when I think about Proverbs 18:24. One is a man who showed up on a Tuesday in a year that needed him.
One is the one
who put that quality in him and shows up
every other Tuesday
and every day
that is not Tuesday.
And both of them are closer than a brother, and both of them were there in the year that needed them.
Closer than a brother.
Still showing up.
Closer than a brother.
The human and the divine.
Closer than a brother.
Jesus first and always.
Closer than a brother.
Still here, still Tuesday,
still showing up.
Closer. Son of a sinner, grandson of 1, 2, but the chain ends here. Hit me. The chain ends here. his daddy drank away the family name. My daddy took the baton and ran the same old race. And I stood at 18 looking in a mirror, seeing every man before me staring back clear. And I had a choice I wasn't equipped to make. With the blood of every bad decision in my veins, I could carry it forward like it was all I deserved, or I could be the first one to choose a different word. They say the apple don't fall far from the tree, but somebody's gotta be the apple that rolls free. Somebody's gotta be the one who breaks the mold. Somebody's gotta be the story that gets told different. Son of a sinner, saved by grace. Son of a sinner, still in the race. I didn't choose the blood that's in my veins, but I chose the cross that breaks the chains. Son of a sinner, that's my name. Son of a sinner, nothing is the same. Every generation gets a chance to turn the page. Son of a sinner, saved by grace. I got a son of mine now, 7 years and bright as dawn, and he don't know yet all the places his daddy's been wrong. He sees a hero where I see a man still being fixed. He trusts me with a trust I'm still learning to protect. Every morning when I wake up, that boy is why I fight. To be the man my grandfather never was in his own life. To be the testimony that my daddy couldn't write. To end the chapter that he started with a different kind of life. They say the apple don't fall from the tree, but somebody's gotta be the apple that rolls free. Somebody's gotta be the one who breaks the mold. Somebody's gotta be the story that gets told different. Saved by grace, still in the race. I didn't choose the blood that's in my veins, but I chose the cross that breaks the chains. That's my name. Every generation gets a chance to turn the page. Son of a sinner, saved by grace. I called my daddy on a Sunday in the fall, said I forgive you for the things I can't forget it all. We cried in a way that men like us don't usually do, and I think that phone call healed us both in a home or two. I'm not saying it fixed everything, but didn't it won't. But forgiveness ain't for them always. Sometimes it's so you don't carry it away to someone else's worst into your best. Sometimes grace moves back, but while it's moving you ahead. So if you stayed in where I stood with the bloodlight on your bag, and the whole world's expecting you to follow down that track, let me tell you something that took me way too long to hear. Your family history is not your destiny from here. You are not your father's failure, you are not your mother's pain, you are not the sum of everything that fell before your name. You're the one who gets to choose today what happens now. Son of a sinner, saved, and I tell you, nobody in my family ever used the word anxiety. We had other words for it. Weak was the most popular one. I drove to work with my hands at 10 and 2, and a weight in my chest that I couldn't explain to you. Not physical, deeper, like the whole day was wrong before it started, like something bad had already gone ahead of me and rearranged the furniture. And I'm walking through the dark, feeling for the edges. That's what it's like, that's the honest version, not the one I told my boys when they asked at the table. I told them find a way, my father told me fine, and his father told him fine, and it came down the line like an heirloom nobody wanted but nobody threw away. And I wore it to work and I wore it every day. Until the morning I sat in the church parking lot for 45 minutes and couldn't make myself stop crying. Couldn't stop, didn't know why it started. Just sat there in the truck and came completely apart. And I thought,
what's wrong with me?
and the answer that came back was
Nothing.
everything you're feeling is real, and you're allowed.
Strong men cry too.
When the weight gets real enough, strong men cry.
Strong men cry too.
It doesn't make you less big. I've been holding it together
Way past when I should've let it go.
Strong men cry too. And brother, that's the bravest thing I know. Yeah. I finally told my pastor in the parking lot that day. Figured a man of God could tell me how to pray it away. He said I take medication and I see a therapist on Thursdays. And I laughed, I actually laughed, because something about the honesty was so much louder than whatever answer I expected. He said the strongest thing I ever did was ask for help and mean it, really mean it, not perform the asking. And I drove home different, not fixed, but less alone. Because strong men fall apart in parking lots and pews. And the church was always meant to be the room where that's allowed to be true.
Strong men cry too.
When the weight gets real enough, strong men cry.
Strong men cry too.
It doesn't make you less. Yeah. I've been holding it together
Way past when I should've let it go.
Strong men cry too. And brother, that's the bravest thing I know. If you're sitting in a truck right now, in a parking lot somewhere, hands on the wheel, chest tight, not knowing why, this is for you. Not as a testimony from someone who figured it out, as a voice from someone who's still figuring it out, who learned that the strongest thing in scripture isn't the army, isn't the miracle. It's the shortest verse in the whole book. Jesus wept. He wept, and nobody called him weak for it. I see a counselor now on Tuesday afternoons. She doesn't fix it, but she helps me name the rooms that I've been living in without the lights on, without knowing what I was feeling was real and going strong in the wrong direction, until someone handed me a language for the weight I've been mistaken for just me. Being too soft, I was never too soft. I was too human for the box I've been put in.
Strong men cry too.
Strong men cry too.
Strong men cry too.
Jesus wept, and so can you. Strong
Strong men cry too.
cry too. Let it out.
Strong men cry too.
Strong men cry too. I was taught that anger was a sin, so I learned to call it something else. I called it disappointment. I called it concern. I was 40 years old before somebody told me. David called it rage in the Psalms, and God published it. I watched a good man lose his job in this house in the same year. I watched his wife pray every morning and still live in fear. I watched them do everything right and get everything wrong. And I sat in church that Sunday while the pastor sung. Said, just trust the process, God's got a plan. And something inside me said it's not enough for this man who worked 40 years and has nothing in his 63. And I felt something rise up that I wasn't supposed to feel in the sanctuary. But the Psalms are full of it, the honest kind, where the writer says, God, where are you? And means it, and doesn't apologize for meaning it. God made anger too. It's in scripture. God made anger too. Read the book a little different. David screamed at heaven. Job demanded answers back. God made anger too. And it doesn't mean your faith is cracked, it means you're paying attention. I'm angry at the system that took 3 years from my cousin. I'm angry at the cancer that picked the wrong one of us. I'm angry at the silence where the miracle was supposed to be. I'm angry at the prayers I said with everything I had in me that went somewhere, I don't know where, not where I aimed. I'm angry at the people who told me anger was ashamed of itself somehow, like feeling it was evidence against the faith, like numbness was the goal of reverence. I am not numb, I am not fine, I am furious and faithful at the same time, because I read about a man who flipped the tables in the temple and called it righteousness and made it sound simple. And I think the church forgot that part somehow, got so comfortable they don't know what to do now, with a man who loves God and is mad at God simultaneously. Both things true at the same time, both things me. And the songs are full of it, the beautiful kind, where the rage becomes the prayer, because at least you're still talking, at least you're still in the room. God made anger too. It's in the scripture. God made anger too. Read the book a little different. David screamed at heaven. Job demanded answers back. God made anger too. And it doesn't mean your faith is cracked, it means you're paying attention. I said all of this to God once, out loud, in my truck, with no filter. Said every version of it. Said I don't understand, and I'm angry that I don't understand. And I'm angry that I'm supposed to be okay with not understanding. And I didn't feel a sermon back, I felt heard, which is different from answer. And maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe the songs exist because God would rather have our honest rage than our performed peace. So I stopped apologizing for the fire in my chest, stopped translating it into something more digestible, started bringing the actual thing to the actual God, started showing up furious and faithful in the same breath, because both are real and He can hold both. The Psalms are proof, He published all of it, even the parts where we scream. God made anger too. God made anger too. David screamed and Job demanded, and God called them his. God made anger too. Bring it to Him, bring it to Him. God made anger. I wanna say something without the false humility that sometimes dresses itself as spiritual maturity and isn't. I changed significantly. The evidence is substantial, and I am grateful out loud about it. The man I was at 32 would not recognize the choices I made this Tuesday. The man I was at 32 had a different relationship with honesty that was more negotiable than the current version. Had a different relationship with the people who depended on him that was more intermittent than it should have been. Had a different relationship with the mirror that was either too critical or too blind, depending on which version was more convenient that morning. And I'm not rehearsing this as confession, I'm rehearsing this as evidence of a distance traveled that I want to acknowledge accurately. Because the church sometimes teaches us to minimize transformation in the name of humility. And I want to suggest that accurately acknowledging what God has done in a man is not pride, it's testimony. And testimony is a weapon. And I'm not putting down my weapons.
You wouldn't recognize me from back then.
That's not arrogance, that's testimony.
You wouldn't recognize me from back then.
The distance is significant. The man I was at 32 couldn't have made it to this Tuesday by his own trajectory.
You wouldn't recognize me from back then.
And I'm grateful
Out loud about it, out loud.
the change didn't happen in a single moment. I've seen enough transformation claims to be skeptical of the overnight version. The change happened in the accumulated decision. The 10,000 Tuesdays where I chose differently than the previous version would have chosen. And the accumulation produced something that looks like a different man from a distance. And there's a different man up close in the specific ways that a man is different when the inside changes rather than just the behavior. And I wanna give the credit to the one who started the work and kept the work going on the Tuesdays when I would've stopped and left to my own initiative.
You wouldn't recognize me from back then.
That's testimony, not arrogance.
Distance is significant.
God did this work and I cooperated with it,
And you wouldn't recognize me from back then.
I called someone from the old life last month who knew the 32-year-old version, and she said, "You sound different." And I said, I am different. She asked what happened, and I talked for an hour. And that conversation is a testimony that Revelation 12:11 was describing the word. My testimony as a weapon against the narrative that says people don't change. People change. I am the specific and documented evidence that people change when the right things get embodied in and the wrong things get named and walk away from consistently over enough Tuesdays. I don't spend much time with the 32-year-old version anymore. I check in occasionally the way you check in with a previous address just to remember why you moved. And every time I check in, I'm more grateful for the distance and more committed to the Tuesday choices that keep the distance growing.
You wouldn't recognize me from back then.
Change, genuinely change.
You wouldn't recognize me. The testimony is a weapon. You wouldn't recognize me from back then.
God did this, I cooperated.
Change,
Out loud about it.
out loud about.
The most beautiful things I have ever seen were not born beautiful. They were made through something that looked like the opposite of beautiful for a long time. I wanna tell you about a relationship that should've ended 3 separate times. By all reasonable accounting, by every measurement that makes sense. From the outside looking in, we were not compatible in the way people mean when they say compatible. We were compatible in the way fire and dry wood are compatible. We made something real between us. We burned through most of it in the first few years. And I wanna be honest about that, 'cause every restoration story that skips the breaking is lying about something important. The breaking was real, the damage was real, and we sat in it for longer than was comfortable. 'Cause leaving felt like giving up on something that still had a pulse. And the choice to stay in the rubble of something and work with your hands in the dark is not romantic. It is the least romantic thing I one and the most faithful.
We were broken before we were beautiful.
Had to fall apart to find the truth.
Broken before we were beautiful.
And the breaking built something new. Now back to what it was, something stronger than what it was. Broken before we were beautiful. And I wouldn't trade a single crack. It made us who we are. It made us who we are. Yeah. Restoration is not the same as returning. I learned it the hard way. You can't go back to what it was, cause what it was had the seeds of what happened already planted in it. What you can do is build something new with the same two people who have now both been through the fire what you became when everything was stripped, and both chose differently in the aftermath. And that choosing differently is where the beauty starts. Not in the grand gesture, not in the dramatic moment. In the Tuesday morning when you could have chosen the old pattern and you didn't. And I keep choosing and she keeps choosing, and the Tuesdays stack up into something that looks from a distance like what we always wanted, but close up is something better, cause it was built, not given.
We were broken before we were beautiful.
Had to fall apart to find the truth.
Broken before we were beautiful.
And the breaking built something new. Now back to what it was, something stronger than what it was. Broken before we were beautiful. And I wouldn't trade a single crack.
You made us who we are.
God doesn't restore to original condition. He restores to better than original condition, because the restoration includes the knowledge of the breaking and the wisdom of what survived it, and the intimacy of having chosen each other in the worst possible moment, and the grace of being chosen back. That's not a return, that's a resurrection. And I know the difference now. I look at what we are now, and I can see every crack like a map of where we've been. And I don't wanna smooth them over, I wanna trace them like a man who understands that the scar is not the wound, it's the proof that the wound closed.
Broken before we were beautiful.
Broken before we were beautiful.
Broken before we were beautiful.
And more beautiful
Because of the breaking. More beautiful.
because of the breaking. I want to tell you about the kind of grief that doesn't have a timeline and doesn't respond to the platitudes as well as everyone around you seems to think it should. It was a Tuesday when the world rearranged itself into before and after, and I became a man who lives in the after and still reaches for the phone to call someone who doesn't have a phone anymore. The grief they describe in books is orderly, stages with names, a progression towards something called acceptance that sounds like a finish line. The grief I know is not orderly. It's the grocery store on a Thursday when the song comes on and the cart stops moving, because you are not in the grocery store anymore. You are somewhere else entirely, and nobody around you knows that. And the world kept going like nothing happened, and I wanted to stop every car on the highway and tell them that something enormous had occurred, and the day should not look the way the day looks.
The grief nobody talks about
Is the 6 a.m. version,
the Tuesday version,
the song in the grocery store version, the reaching for the phone version.
the grief nobody talks about. about.
Lives in the ordinary places and ambushes you there.
And I wanna say out loud
But that's allowed,
that's allowed.
that's allowed. Grief lives where it lives. I wanna talk about the silence, because nobody talks about the silence. The weeks when heaven felt like a recording, when I said the words I was supposed to say and felt nothing return. And I know what the theology says about feelings and truth, but grief doesn't care what the theology says. Grief is its own weather system, and it doesn't consult the doctrine before it arrives. And I sat in the silence and didn't perform the piece the people expected. And that was the most honest thing I've done in a long time, because the God who wept at Lazarus' tomb already knew it was about to happen and wept anyway. Which means the tears are not a failure of faith. They're the most faithful thing in the moment.
The grief nobody talks about
It's the 6 a.m. version,
the Tuesday version.
the reaching for the phone version.
Grief lives where it lives.
And that's allowed.
That's allowed.
Psalm 34:18 says, He is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Not after the grief resolves,
He is close.
during the grocery store Thursday,
He is close.
during the 6 a.m.,
He is close.
during the silence that doesn't feel like peace.
He is close.
He is present in the specific coordinates of your specific grief, not rushing you toward acceptance, present with you in the before and after, in the impossible Tuesday, and all of it. I still reach for the phone sometimes. I don't think that goes away entirely. What changes is the pause after the reach, when I remember, and what I've learned to do in that pause is say a name, not into absence, into the presence that's in the room. And let the grief be grief, and let the peace be present simultaneously, because they are not mutually exclusive. I had to learn that
He is close
to the broken hearted. He is close
in the 6 a.m.
in the grocery store,
in the grocery store.
in the reaching for the phone.
He is close. He is close. He is close.
He is close.
He is close.
I'm not gonna dress this up, because it didn't happen dressed up. It happened at 3 a.m. on a bathroom floor, in the least cinematic version of a moment that changed everything. I had been awake for 2 days, running the same loop, the way your brain does when it finds a wound and won't leave it alone. And somewhere around 3 a.m., I ran out of the energy required to keep the performance going. The performance of being fine, the performance of handling it. And I said something out loud to the ceiling that I hadn't said before. Not the Sunday version, just my actual voice, in my actual desperation, saying my actual situation, without editing it first, without making it presentable. And I wanna be honest about what I expected, which was nothing, because nothing is what every previous version of this conversation had produced.
3 a.m. and got picked up.
Didn't go to voicemail this time.
3 a.m. and got picked up.
Like he been waiting on the line. I didn't have a prayer prepared, didn't have the words exactly right. 3 a.m. and
Got picked up.
and something changed in the middle of the night. I can't tell you it was audible. What happened was quieter than I expected, and more convincing. It was more like a shift in the temperature of the room, a settling of something that had been unsettled for longer than I could accurately measure. A sense of being located by something that knew exactly where I was without directions. I sat on that floor until the sun started, then got up differently than I'd sat down. Not fixed,
Not finished,
but found.
and found
It's different
from fixed.
Found means something was looking, and it had been looking the whole time. I just couldn't hear it over the volume of everything else I was running.
Psalm 34
Says he is close to the broken-hearted, not close to people with polished prayers. Close to the broken-hearted, which means the bathroom floor is the location he moves toward.
not away from.
And the 3 a.m. voice with no dignity left is exactly the frequency he picks up on every time. I still have 3 a.m. sometimes, but different now. 'Cause now I know what happens when you tell the ceiling the actual truth without editing it first. He picks up every time.
3 a.m. he got picked up.
He picks up every time.
3 a.m. he got picked up.
Every time. Call. Call. I want to be honest about something. I don't know what's coming. I've made peace with not knowing, and I want to tell you what that cost and what it gave me. I used to need the map before I take the step. Had to see the whole road or I wouldn't leave the porch. I call that wisdom, I call that preparation, but what it really was a man who trusted himself more than he trusted the one who made the road. And the road I planned with all my preparation and all my wisdom and all my careful steps did not go where I planned in the years that mattered most. And I stood at the fork with no map and no plan and more peace than I had ever had. With both, because something shifted when the map ran out. Something that had been white knuckle in the wheel finally let go and found out that someone else had been holding the road the whole time. I don't know what's coming, but I know who does. I don't know what's coming, but I know it's covered by a hand that hasn't dropped anything it's carried yet.
I don't know what's coming.
I know who does, and that's enough. It has to be enough. That is enough. The diagnosis that came in October, I didn't see that map. The call that changed the year, no map for that either. The morning I woke up and the thing I had depended on was simply gone. No map, no preparation, no amount of careful living prepares you for the mornings that rearrange everything. But I noticed something in every one of those mornings that I could not have planned for. That someone had already been there before I arrived, that already prepared something I didn't know I need, had already left a provision at every address of every catastrophe before the catastrophe had an address. That's not coincidence,
That's not love.
that's a God who works ahead of the
Calendar.
who builds the bridge while I'm still driving toward the ravine. I don't know what's coming, but I know who does. I don't know what's coming, but I know it's covered by a hand that hasn't dropped anything it's carried yet.
I don't know
that's enough. So this is the prayer that replaced all my plans. Lord, I don't know what's ahead, but I know you do. And I know you've been faithful in every previous unknown I've walked through. And I know that this one doesn't change your record. So I release the map, I release the need to know the road, I release the grip, and I choose trust. Not because it's easy, because it's true. And truth is the only thing that holds when everything else is unreadable. I leave the house differently now than I did before. I leave with less certainty and more confidence, because certainty was in the plan and confidence is in the plan. And I finally know the difference between those two things.
I don't know what's coming.
I know who does.
I don't know what's coming.
I know who does. That's enough. That's always been enough. I only talk to God when I need something. It's the honest truth, and I'm embarrassed by it, but here I am again. I know I only show up when the bottom's close enough to touch. I know I said I'd change 1,000 times without it amounting to much. I know you know my pattern better than I know it myself. I know you watch me reach for you, then put you back on the shelf. Yeah. And I know that probably gets old from where you're sitting, but I also know you said come as you are, and Lord, I'm coming. As a man who's proved he can't do this particular thing alone. As a man who's asking one more time if there's still a way back home.
I need a favor
from the only one
who's ever come through
when everything else was done.
I need a favor from heaven.
Don't know who else to call.
I need a favor from heaven.
Caught me right before the fall. I'm not saying I deserve it, I'm not making any deals. I need a favor from heaven, the only favor that heals. My daughter asked me why I cry in church on certain songs. I told her, baby, sometimes the music knows what's been wrong. She said, Daddy, does God answer when you talk to him like that? I said, more times than I should get, considering my track. She said, and why do you keep worrying every time we go? And I didn't have an answer that was honest, so I let it go. Just held her hand and said with what that 7-year-old said, and let it rearrange some furniture in my head. I need a favor from the only one
Who knows my name
like it was never done. Oh, I need a favor
from heaven.
don't know who else to call. I need a favor
From heaven.
caught me right before the fall. I'm not saying I deserve it, I'm not making any deals. I need a favor from heaven, the only favor that heals. Maybe the favor isn't what I'm asking for. Maybe the favor is that you keep answering the door, even at this hour, even from this man. Maybe the favor already happened and I just don't understand how many times you've shown up that I never even noticed. Maybe grace has been the favor all along, the most. I don't pray you're perfect, and I don't come clean, but I come, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the whole thing.
I need a favor from heaven.
Oh,
I need a favor from heaven.
already getting it, Lord, already getting it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.